It was a quiet afternoon when Karen, predictably overconfident, decided to escalate her harassment once again. This time, she sent a small group of thugs to my property, demanding that I join her HOA. She clearly assumed that fear and intimidation could force compliance. What she didn't anticipate was that I was fully prepared, and that my defenses were more than a match for her arrogance. I was inspecting the property boundaries when I saw the group approaching. They were armed with the usual tools of coercion, threats, flashlights, and a misguided sense of authority, but they had underestimated the situation entirely. I calmly walked to the driveway, hands visible, and greeted them with a calm smile. "Good afternoon," I said evenly. "I understand you're here on behalf of the HOA. Please step back. You are trespassing." One of the men scoffed. "We're here to make sure you join. The HOA doesn't take no for an answer." I sighed, unfazed. "This is private property. You have no authority here. Any attempt to enforce HOA rules will be met with immediate action." Karen, perched behind the group in her SUV, waved frantically, trying to urge them forward. But I had anticipated this moment. From the barn, my K9 unit appeared, their disciplined barking and intimidating presence immediately halting the advance of the trespassers. At the same time, my security cameras recorded every step, angle, and interaction, ensuring that the entire event was documented. I raised my hand, signaling the final warning. "Step back now. Leave the property. Any further advance will be considered an illegal act, and the authorities will be contacted immediately." The thugs hesitated, clearly realizing that this was no ordinary property dispute. The K9S, trained to respond with precision, circled with a controlled intensity that left no doubt as to who held the upper hand. One of the men muttered, "Maybe we should reconsider." Before they could retreat fully, I picked up the two-way radio and contacted the local sheriff. Within minutes, a convoy arrived, confirming that any further attempt at coercion would have legal consequences. Karen's face turned pale as she realized the full extent of her miscalculation. Her attempt to use intimidation had utterly failed. By late morning, the HOA thugs had retreated, defeated and humiliated, leaving Karen behind in the SUV, fuming but powerless. Neighbors observed from a distance, amazed at the swift and decisive handling of the situation. Karen's audacity had been neutralized by preparation, authority, and strategic foresight. Later, I reviewed the security footage, documenting every movement, every gesture, and every word from Karen and her thugs. This evidence ensured that any future harassment could be dealt with legally and decisively. The property remained fully secure, my family unthreatened, and Karen's sense of authority further diminished. By afternoon, the neighborhood had heard the story. Karen had sent her enforcers to intimidate me, only to be met with overwhelming preparedness and legal protection. Her arrogance and entitlement had been thoroughly checked, and her reputation suffered yet another blow. As evening fell, the property was peaceful. Karen had been reminded once again that audacity and imagined authority cannot prevail against careful preparation, legal knowledge, and decisive action. My family, my property, and my peace remained fully intact, while Karen's attempts to exert control had been thoroughly neutralized.